Bună seara din Chișinău. Greetings from the capital of Moldova, Chișinău. It's actually one of the least visited destinations in all of Europe. And if you have decided, or you are thinking of going to one of the main attractions in terms of cities in, say, Western Europe, like let's take Milan, Rome, London, Paris, Amsterdam, Madrid, Barcelona, Lisbon, you're going to be faced with a phenomenon that is known as over-tourism, because there are just so many people all going to the same places. Here behind me we have the Arc de Triomphe, so the Arc de Triomphe, Moldovan style. But if you were in Paris trying to get a pic near the Arc de Triomphe right now, it would be pretty difficult because you will be competing for a spot in front of it with presumably tens of thousands of other tourists. And that is something you don't have to contend with here in Moldova, because there is very little international tourism, and as a result you get a lot more of an authentic travel experience. I have noticed here on this platform, YouTube, in the last few months, there is finally a recognition that things have improved in terms of infrastructure, beautification of the city, and just in general, the vibe and the opportunities for Moldova, in particular from a famous YouTuber who about half a decade ago made a viral video that highlighted just in what a poor state the city center of Chișinău was. That video went viral.
The capital of Moldova, the very center of the city. Look at this. This is how little the government has done for this city.
But he had come back in the last few months and acknowledged that, yeah, the city has pretty much transformed since he has been here. It must have been 5, 6, 7 years ago when he filmed that video. And finally the word is getting out, because I always feel like I'm the only person who makes positive videos about traveling to Chișinău, Moldova. Get here before the hordes of tourists finally figure it out as well. You see it in other cities in the region like Warsaw in Poland or Krakow in Poland, or say, let's take even Bucharest in Romania, the neighboring country. There are huge number of tourists, whether from North America, Western Europe, Asia, Africa, from all over the world, Latin America, who now know about it and go there. But still, they have not discovered Moldova, and Chișinău just hasn't had the branding behind it, even though I'm wearing a t-shirt with the national logo from the tourism agency. And here we have the bells ringing out for Chișinău. So I'm going to give you a sample of the mad Moldovan nightlife. It is a lot of fun to go out and party here, in particular in the summer. There's just so much going on with this beautiful weather that stretches out into the long evenings. And we're going to look ahead to the very bright future for this country, Moldova, in terms of the economy growing and the business opportunities, because this country has been heading in the right direction for much of the last 5 or 6 years. And there are definitely a lot of great opportunities for someone who wants to get in ahead of the pack, ahead of the crowd. A bit like with the tourism, also business is the same. So with all that said, let's go Moldovan style, high submersion. Tell us a little bit like where you're from originally and why you came to Moldova.
I am from Brazil. I'm from Belo Horizonte, a non-so-touristic city. I came to Moldova because I like to go to not-so-touristic places. And honestly, the main reason was because I heard it was a hidden gem. Also, I heard it was the poorest country in Europe, you know, like the less developed. So I wanted to check it with my own eyes. And yeah, that was pretty much the main reason why I came.
Maybe tell us 3 things you liked about Moldova. What would you say they are?
Okay, so prices is the first, you know. To be 100% transparent, I expect it to be a little bit cheaper, since my expectations coming here were the poorest country in Europe, most underdeveloped. So I expected it to be crazy cheap. It's just regular cheap, you know, it's not nothing out of this world. So but still, prices are a positive thing. I really like clean places, you know, so I think it's a clean place indeed. And I would put two things. One is women are very pretty, you know, women are
excellent.
pretty. And people are friendly, man, you know, as you know, I'm a YouTuber, you know, I've spoken with tons of people on the street just trying to interview them, and they are super friendly, you know, like I don't remember talking to a person, they were like, no, I don't want to talk to you, you know. If they spoke any English, we would have a conversation, you know, so it was fine.
And how was the level of English? Did you struggle? Because you speak Portuguese, obviously, and your English is quite good. So was that enough?
I spoken with a lot of people on the streets, and I would say that 80%, 70% spoke a little bit. It's definitely good enough. For example, I'm from Brazil, and the English in Brazil is almost non-existent, you know. And if you compare to, for example, in Bulgaria, I felt like people speak less English than here.
Okay, so it's higher
Yeah,
here.
you know, Albania, less English than here. I was actually decently surprised by the level of English here.
And you mentioned that you found the women of Moldova quite attractive. Can you describe the look, or
Yeah.
why did you find them more attractive than maybe other countries that you've been?
I would say that it's kind of like a standard way of looking, you know, like standard looks for this side of the world. Blondish in most of them, like blue, lighter eyes, skinny, and somewhat tall. Yeah, they kind of look like models in a way. The average looking girl here is pretty.
The food, did you get to try the food and the wine here a little bit?
Yeah, the wine is very good. I mean, this region is known for it, right? Food, it was not like a highlight of the trip, you know, it was decent food, just like the Romanian. I wouldn't say like, oh, you have to come for the food. I would much more say you have to come for the wine. And I feel like, honestly, it is in a way a hidden gem. It is in a way a hidden gem. I would recommend everybody coming.
Moldova is quite attractive for IT entrepreneurs. How come?
Yes, I think Moldova is generally a very underestimated country, and especially if you're IT, they have this IT park. It's like it's actually certain conditions, like the very simple tax law, and it means you just pay whether 7% of your revenue or a fixed amount of the amount of people you are hiring here. It's very simple, very transparent, and Moldova tries to attract actually IT people, companies, but also like single persons to this country. I recommend to check it out because you understand it very fast. Also, if you're a foreigner, you can come here, you get quite easy a visum and can start and found your company very fast actually.
How long typically would it take, do you think, to set up the company?
Can be some weeks, it depends, like even faster. The registration, I don't know, can be done in some days, I think. But this process to enter the IT park takes a bit more, I guess, yes.
So what else do you like about Moldova? What attracted you outside of tax rates and
Yeah,
ease of business?
I mean, I came here just for business. Like I have a company in Austria, and I met somebody who had a company already here in Romania. And he did quite the same like we, like prop tech, so it's here and also IT. So we started to work in partnership, but then 2020, my co-founder and me, we decided to found our own company here. And then being here more and more often, it went quite fast that I decided to move really from Austria to this country. Because next to this business conditions we have here, it's also culture, the food, life is very relaxed. People are very warm-hearted and open, and also the weather. So in Austria, Germany, it's raining a lot, especially in summer. And here you hear sometimes rain at night, but then you wake up and you have clear sunshine again. And yeah, this is one of the many things I like a lot about Moldova, yes.
So where are you from exactly?
So I'm from Germany, from like the Cologne area. I spent like 15 years in the US and now I live in Milan, in Italy.
Milano. And we're here in Chișinău, Moldova. What is a German who lives in Milano doing in Chișinău in the middle of summer?
Well, I mean, I met this lovely lady. We actually met through work. We used to work together and we were friends and now maybe a little more than friends.
Maybe.
And at some point she's like,
for a year.
sure. And at some point she's like, okay, you should come see like where I live.
What did you know about Moldova before you decided to come here?
Absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
Honestly, I was expecting it to be like a lot more run down because like, you know, like factually it's supposed to be like the poorest country in Europe, right? But Chișinău is like super modern, right? Like if you didn't know you were in Moldova, you could think you were in like any like modern capital. I feel very safe here. Yeah. Like, and you know, I live in Milan and there's neighborhoods there where I feel quite unsafe, right? Especially late at night, and that's not the case here.
Name 3 things that you like about Moldova in terms of, did you travel around?
Well, Corina here is number 1.
So the beauty of the local ladies,
yeah,
clearly.
That goes
Are
without
the
saying.
values.
Number 2, like everything feels really green here. Yeah. Like it feels like most of the country is like extremely like full of like greenery, and that's something I quite like. Similar to like Romania, which like also has a lot of like natural beauty. And then, I mean, third, it probably has to be the placinta. Like I'm not gonna lie, like I'm obsessed with this.
Is there anything you don't like about Moldova? Anything that you'd say, okay, this annoys me, or?
Yeah, your guys' airport, like all the flights are like at really, really, really early in the morning, right? And I know why, right? So, for example, right, if you're a lower budget like Moldovan airline, when you're bidding up against like the major European airlines, you don't have as much money to bid on the flight routes, and so you get shafted a lot at the airports with getting the off hours kind of flight times. So if I fly here from Milan, like my flight from Milan leaves at like 6 a.m., right? Which, I mean, it is what it is, right? And
but that's good if you want to be in time for the office on Monday morning.
Yeah,
so.
right. Or same with you. You could even have flights at like 4 or 4:30 in the morning that will then land at 7 a.m. at some major European airport. And I mean, look, I'm really stretching here, like, right, because this is just something I run into constantly with, like, I want to, like, be on a normal work schedule, but then it kind of gets jumbled up every time we're, like, going back and forth, but...
Okay, that's good. That's good for people to know that they need to... So the most frequent questions that I get asked, whether it's DMs on Instagram or comments on my live streams or beneath my videos when it comes to Moldova is, Connor, which bars, clubs, restaurant, cafes should I go to when I come to Chișinău, Moldova? I have simplified everything for you. I have spent, was it summer 2022, 2023, 2024, and 2025 researching the best spots in Chișinău in Moldova, not just for cafes, restaurants, bars, clubs, shisha lounges, but also I have gone and sampled the wine in over 10 Moldovan vineyards, and it was, to be very candid, a lot of fun doing the research for all of this. And I have collated all that great information into a guide. It's going to also help you with the logistics of coming here, and it's available for purchase down below. In the video description, there is a link. You can go and grab that now, and it will just save you absolutely huge amount of time, because it literally took me months to go to the cafes, restaurants, clubs, bars, shisha lounges, and all those vineyards in order to simplify it for you when you come here. So I'm gonna take off because I'm absolutely boiling here, sweltering under the Moldovan sun. And when I'm shooting this particular clip, it is only June, and it is actually not super hot yet by Moldovan standards. It's probably just around 27, 28 degrees Celsius, and Moldova, it can get into the high 30s Celsius, even over into the 40s. So I'm looking forward to getting a nice suntan, your Irish boy here, with his Celtic skin, in this incredible heat and sun. And I wish you a very successful trip to this very infrequently visited country. I hope to see you here in Moldova at some point. So here I am in one of the iconic terraces, summer terraces, one of my favorite cocktail bars here in Chișinău. They're actually launching their own brand of gin, so quite an interesting evening to hang out here. Fortunately, the weather is against, like the first time it's rained in Chișinău in the last, I don't know, month or so. Nonetheless, this is a fantastic city for different types of nightlife during the summer months and also during the winter, although obviously it changes a bit. People are not going to be on the streets so much in a Moldovan winter. However, during the summer, it is fantastic. Not only do you have nice summer atmospheric cocktail bars, you also have lots of more pubs where you can grab a beer. You also then have a lot of parties going on. As you expect during the summer, you have ones that are like kind of the nightclub that maybe has an outdoor section because people like to be out with the tables, table service, bottle service at the club, larging it up on a Friday and Saturday night. Also here, which is very unique, I find, in Europe at all, there are lots of electronic music parties that go on. Many of them are actually even free to enter, and it's kind of like a boiler room style of party that goes on here every weekend during the summer, and there are lots of them that are a bit more exclusive, that have cover charge and some face control, and others are completely open. So definitely this is a city that offers a huge amount in terms of summer nightlife. So let's go and find out a little bit about this particular brand and this bar and the story behind it and why it was founded, and the gin, and also then we can go together and sample a little bit of Chișinău's summer nightlife.
We're at Marlène and we're celebrating the launch of Gin Marlène, first alcohol that we bring out under our own name. There is a long story, but I think the most interesting thing about it would be that we have chosen the main ingredient has a lot of meanings, spiritual and symbolical meaning for the Moldovans. It's red basil, or red Reuben basil, as you would call it in English. It's used in a lot of rituals and a lot of situations in Moldova. It carries a long history. There are folk songs about it. You know, it's lovely.
Your bar, Marlène, where did you get the inspiration behind opening a bar in Chișinău, Moldova? What attracted you to Moldova?
I was actually coming here with a friend. I gave a trip to Moldova as a birthday present to a good friend, and we came here. And I just met nice people, I met friendly people, and I met my future business partner. And like 3-4 years later, we opened Marlène.
Another thing I wanted to ask you, the vines here are definitely quite unique in the bar, out here on the terrace. Can you explain a little bit behind the inspiration for them? It's something that I personally associate with Moldova quite a lot.
It is very much a thing that you'll find in every Moldovan, maybe not household in the city, but in the villages where people have their grandparents living. Every single household will have these vines, will have these, you know, and you can basically just pick grapes as you're sitting at the table. They were here when we came, but we saw it and we're like, we need to work with this. We do not want to take them away and build something tragic with, you know, like a roof or anything. We really want to use the Moldovan spirit to, well, promote a Moldovan product and a Moldovan place. When we opened in 19, nobody knew where Moldova was. And people were going like, you're going where? But now I can really feel that Moldova has established itself on the international stage in a very sad way, of course, because of all the atrocities in Ukraine. But it has been, for Moldova, a chance to become known. And I must say, the Moldovan government has taken that chance and used it to the maximum.
All right, so let's do the important business, which is actually sampling the product. Definitely refreshing. Summertime vibes, Chișinău. All right, so what do I have? This is like some lipstick, but it's kind of like some chocolate.
It's coconut lipstick.
Definitely coconut. It's very bloody sweet.
It's
I
really
love
sweet.
it.
You like sweet things as
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
too sweet for me too.
Yeah.
I feel it in on my tongue.
Yeah, that's not for me, but for yeah,
The
it's
sweet,
Guys, I've been
like, exactly her style. So,
the sweet
okay.
tooth people.
But the cocktails are pretty amazing here, I have to say.
Try it.
This is plum beer. Maybe explain what plum beer is.
It's an ice cream. We always used to eat this ice cream as kids, and now they put it on my cocktail.
Let me taste it. And I'll give the final judgment.
Guys, it has no taste. It just like
Oh,
water.
it smells like ice cream.
I love the foam. I love
Ice
the
cream
foam.
foam. It's for
Yeah.
sure ice cream foam. It just takes my
have a
lips.
taste.
Really good.
Oh, sure. First of all, norok.
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 Cheers.
Here I am at Moldovan Brands Runway 2025. This is Moldova's premier fashion show of the year, and got a lot of beautiful people here, a lot of interesting designs, and looking forward to giving you a little bit of a sample of the style of people in this part of Europe. Hi, Submergent.
Это самое крупное, да, модное мероприятие. Я думаю, что оно набирает с каждым годом обороты, и у него очень много перспектив. То есть видно прогресс из года в год, это точно. Появляется очень много молодых брендов, и, надеюсь, так дальше и будет. Мы будем расти, и у нас будет общество, где мы сможем друг с другом сотрудничать и развиваться дальше. Атмосфера супер дружелюбная. Мне раньше казалось, что мода — это такое немножко соревновательное, может, где-то какое-то мероприятие. Но, честно говоря, все супер дружелюбные, открытые люди, много иностранцев. В общем, много нетворкинга, это всегда плюс.
Это стиль дизайнера Пехова, благодаря которому мы попали на показ. Мы посмотрели показ, и это ее костюм. Оцените.
Круто! Почему вы выбрали приходить сегодня сюда?
Потому что это очень интересно, это культурная жизнь Молдовы. И очень интересно посмотреть на креативных дизайнеров наших местных. Я уверена, что у молдавских дизайнеров есть большое будущее, потому что у творчества нет границ. Возможно, когда-нибудь молдавский бренд будет на неделе моды в Париже или в Милане. Нет ничего невозможного. Молдова — это люди, они очень добродушные. Я сама приезжая, я из Беларуси, поэтому я могу вам сказать, как иностранка. Она гостеприимная, вкусная, прекрасное вино, невероятная природа. И Молдова – это дом.
It's good vibes, good vibes. People are nice. Everyone is happy to meet other people. For me as a photographer, going to fashion events is always a pleasure because everyone wants their picture to be taken. So it's an easy job because everyone smiles in the camera and is happy to see a photographer. So I feel pretty comfortable here. Chișinău is smaller than Bucharest, where I've also worked, for example, or Kiev. And this gives it a little bit more of an intimate, I would say, like a family vibe, because the fashion crowd is quite small here, so people know each other. So I would say that it's a more kind of like friendly, approachable event than it's outside of Moldova. I feel that Moldova is getting now like can become, I would say, like a production powerhouse in terms of textile, which we're already doing, and I think this will fuel more energy into the industry. Right now we're getting some new names, younger people starting their own brands, which I think is a very positive trend. So I believe that we are on the right track. Right now we have a few names. I would say like I know 1 to 2 brands that are already doing good on Paris Fashion Week, for example. So we were getting there step by step, yeah. So I think it's gonna be a very cool place soon. It's already a cool place, but I mean like more people will come here and it's gonna bring even more new energy and the new interesting vibes into the city. So, you know, come and join.
So who exactly should look at coming to Moldova? We're at the end of this fantastic summer in 2025, looking forward to 2026. I would say that it's going to be people who are willing to primarily manage their revenues remotely. Maybe you have a revenue stream coming from the US or from Western Europe, and you're able to maintain that while you were here in Moldova. Also, if you are willing to invest heavily in the Moldovan economy, this is definitely a very interesting place to come to with the burgeoning economy here. So as we've seen over the last few weeks that I've been here, there are plenty of foreigners who come here and invest in the restaurant business, bar business, also with startups, with the attractive Moldova IT Park. In terms of taxes, and I think on top of that, you need to be someone who is willing to come here with an open mind to a different culture, one that is not dramatically different from being in North America or Western Europe. It is still Europe here. However, things are done a little bit more old school, and definitely if you are interested in a very nice and attractive climate during the summer, going to be a bit cold in the winter, amazing food, amazing wine, and definitely a very provincial and local culture with a modern twist, then I think this is a great place for you to consider coming in. Every summer that I come back to Chișinău in 2022, 2023, 2024, and now 2025, the city gets a little bit nicer and nicer. It's not the dilapidated backward that is painted sometimes on YouTube. And you know, this park, as many of the parks in the city, is constantly being upgraded and beautified, and they are improving the infrastructure. Just overall, there is a vibe here of this country going in the right direction. So that is the kind of person that I think who is open to that, who is going to thrive here. If you want something like a New York or a London, then this is not going to be the city for you. It is 650,000 people and a little bit more remotely located in Europe. It's not going to be a multi-culti melting pot like you get in those bigger Western European cities. However, if you're looking for a slightly slower pace of life than being a hectic big city, but it not being too small, that it's super provincial, then I think that Chișinău and Moldova in general can be a great fit for you. So, hoping to see you here either later in 2025 or in 2026. Bine ați venit in Moldova.